going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys what was supposed to be a recap of this past weekend of battle rap related events, whether it was Bars Over Politics or Suge's boxing event. I was supposed to have a recap last night, kind of talking about everything, right? Talk about a little bit of battles, especially leading into another big week with power moves. But for anyone that has been paying attention to what happened this weekend, you know it was an atrocity. You know, it was crimes, acts of terror in terms of the streaming product that we got really for both events. And they were both laughable for two different reasons. The first day, you got a stream, but you basically didn't get an event. And then the second day, you got an event, but you just didn't get a stream. How does that work? Where do they do that at? Right here in Battle Rap. So might be a bit of a shorter, I guess, rant in a sense, because there's not really a lot of product, a lot of footage to talk about it. There has been a bit of a hearsay report, right? It was kind of old time where you were getting word of what just happened in the building, and now we're going to have to wait to see. I didn't check if the VOD is up for Bars Over Politics. However, they plan on distributing that to the public. But basically, we have horrificness to talk about, and bad business, it really seems like, across the board. So let's start with Suge's boxing event, 1 round straight, which was a shit show of epic proportions, just like everything we dealt with this weekend. But the first thing we'll cover, because we have a lot of negatives to cover in terms of streaming, right, is the delay. And this is something that's built into so many different battle rap events. It happened with both events this weekend. And I mean, wasting the customer's time, wasting everyone's time is really the main atrocity that happened. You know, we're talking 3+ hour delay for the boxing event. And, you know, you compare it to other sports, and people always say this never happens in other sports, right? This doesn't happen in UFC, boxing, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, cricket. You know what I'm saying? This does not happen in other sports. These hour and hours long delays. But I'll take it a step further. This just doesn't happen in life. Like, where do you go that a 3-hour delay is just like a normal thing that happens? This doesn't happen when you go to concerts, live speaking events. You ever been to a motivational speaking event? There is no 3-hour delays with this. A trip to the DMV, not the region that keeps producing mid-tiers. I mean the actual Department of Motor Vehicles, where I am one of my least favorite places on earth, where you are guaranteed to wait a long ass time. And even then you don't have 3+ hour delays for what you need to get done. It is just absurd that people think it is okay, or, you know, people are like, that's just how it is in battle rap. Then this will never get anywhere with you buy something and then you don't get it for 4 more hours from when it started. You know what I'm saying? So really egregious, especially on back-to-back days. But what's the info that we got with that 3-hour delay? Basically nothing except cancellations. And that's the next biggest thing. Or one would debate the biggest thing that probably affected this event is that you had 6 fights on the flyer, 7 fights on the flyer. You got 2. That's not good math. You know what I'm saying? The second fight was just people halves from other fights. It was supposed to be Stiz and No Red and Fetty and Top Floor Loot. But then they ended up just doing Stiz just mauling Fetty just to get someone out there fighting. And Tony Blanco versus Don Lady fought as well. And that there was really no quality in that first fight. It was okay. If there's any highlight, it's just Stiz whooping Fetty, and you got to give Fetty some credit. You know, it's beyond people just saying, you know, oh, I'll never make fun of someone that laces up the gloves and tries to go out there and fight. Fetty must have seen just the horrificness that was occurring with this event. And after 5 or 6 hours, just said, you know what, Stiz? Just beat the shit out of me. Suge, I got you. You know what I'm saying? He took one for the team, man. Stiz obviously laced him up, but that's really all there is product-wise to talk about this event. You also got to speak on the commentary, which was just awful and self-deprecating. I believe it was a collection of Instagram comedians and Vixen. They were the outsiders, I guess you could say, were really just downing the event the whole time, talking about how much of a mess it is, calling it ghetto, saying, Suge, don't ever have me doing this again, if without something to eat, and blah, blah, blah. So you just have the commentators who are adding to the annoyance of the experience. Like, not only are you annoyed because you're waiting 4 to 5 hours, you have a couple of the worst fucking humans possible commentating to just make it as excruciating as possible. It was even one point where Vixen threw some sympathetic ass. I mean, I've seen a lot of ass thrown in my life, but she was like, man, it's just so, there's nothing going on in here. She didn't even look like passionate about what she was doing. It was just an awful, cringy situation homie that was trying to hit on her the whole time. Like, I guess it's all falling apart. And when things get weird enough, you got to embrace it. You got to say, I'm going to just be a part of the weirdness. And then the main reason that a lot of these fights did not go down is purely because of health, high blood pressure in most cases. They said people that just aren't in shape, which if we can't even get people in battle rap, like rap related events, to consistently show up on time, actually bring their material, not have no shows the day of, it's hard for me to believe there was ever that much faith in these people actually getting in shape. You know what I'm saying? For a boxing match, like professional athletes, right? If they can't even just get the rounds of writing and raps together, how are they going to get this whole other physical sport that actually takes more physical work and time to prepare and be a part of? Just bad on the battlers to put Suge in that situation. I don't know if there's a way to get that sanctioned or cleared beforehand, but I'm going to be real. We could have done it 2 weeks beforehand, a week. These people still wouldn't have gotten in shape, you know what I'm saying, and gotten ready for the fight the way they should have. And then the most egregious of all of them is Stumbles, who backed out because of transportation the day of. And listen, this is something that I've said before, and he's just proving it here. Stumbles is useless to us in the ring. He is useless to us outside of the ring. I mean, outside of a Snake Eyes win and 1 bar versus Kid Slade, the Suge battle was pretty good too. I won't be a liar, but outside of a very limited amount of work compared to his overall body of work, the guy shows up without rounds. Just a mess. Outside of the ring, he's a mess. No shows, chokes, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Stumbles at this point. And for most, I mean, there was a point that he could have provided something, right? But for the most part, he showed us who he is. He's someone that's going to provide nothing to the culture besides putting us back when he's done business with, you know what I'm saying, in certain scenarios. So he backed out the day of, giving Snake Eyes no fight. Bonnie and 40 didn't go down because of health. O-Red and Stiz didn't go down because of health. I could just go on and on and on about everything that is wrong with this event. But 1 round straight, listen, I give Suge credit for trying to put something together, and I feel bad because I know that he put money into it, right? He said he brought all his peoples out to watch, but in terms of the organization of it, how it was ran, it's not like you got half of an event or an extremely delayed event. You got 2 fights from a 6-fight card. Absolute garbage first day start to the weekend. And you must be thinking, how could we get any worse than that? Well, then the next day came and we had bars over politics, right? Which is I've been looking forward to. You've seen the videos. I've done it on the channel. I figured even while Suge's boxing event was ending, I was like, you know what? We got top tier raps the next day. That will make up for it. We're walking away. We're leaving with something this weekend. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't. We didn't. So first of all, you get to the next day, 3-hour delay. Boom. We're back at it again. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. And there was just similar to the Suge event, there's just no communication. You know what I'm saying? I think the only real update we're getting is that the URL Twitter account is putting out the same flyer of the event with a start time, but they keep just putting the start time later. It's the same flyer, 3 p.m., 3:30, 3:45, 4 p.m. Like what an ingenious method of communication, really keeping everybody in the loop there. So we're waiting, and then we come to find out there's some surprise battles for this event. There's 2 surprise 1-rounders. It was Capo versus Ace. Where the fuck has Ace been? That was out of nowhere. And then Wusa versus Bad News, which I think is cool. You know, Bad News being on the card in Carolina, right? Some people would ask for that after he didn't appear when it was announced. So I'm like, you know, it's been a long day of delays, but, you know, we're getting some extra battles, I guess, you know? Nope. No, we're not, because those battles started and the stream still had not started. So now you have surprise battles going down, and they've quit the communication at this point. I mean, now shit is just happening, right? And we're all waiting, like, how are battles going down? And we can't watch. You know what I'm saying? We bought the stream. There's no stream. It's not happening. The stream ain't streaming. You know what I'm saying? So we're hearing about the 1-rounders. I heard Ace was unclean and lost clear to Capo. You know, very shocking, huh? His last battle on URL was Shotgun Suge, and we remember how that went. So Ace returns for a 1-rounder, apparently not very good. And I heard Wusan Bad News was good, but you see, it's a lot of I hear. Not a lot of I see. I did not put these bad boys right here to use yesterday because all you could do is read through the Twitter timeline and what was happening at the event. So apparently these surprise battles go down and we just don't get to see it, right? And that's when it happens. As the event is starting, top tier battles, I believe it was, I don't know who went first because we didn't watch it, right? It was T-Top or Jerry, Fonz or Hustle, but URL goes out there, puts out this tweet, talk about how they have canceled the pay-per-view stream due to rampant bootlegging. And listen, bootlegging is a humongous problem in this culture. I do agree that the culture is not big enough to sustain it on a day-to-day basis. Every time it comes up, I am very pro-league because stealing is just not okay from the league when we don't have the backing of an NFL, an NBA, etc. But however, URL, how can there be rampant bootlegging when the stream didn't start? How does that work? Where are they doing that at? Was this futuristic bootlegging that I heard of? I mean, and even if there is bootlegging, there's a lot of people who paid for it, and now you were canceling the stream, not even just simply the day of, the morning of. You're canceling it after you've put people through a 3 to 4 hour delay to the event. So the people have waited 4 hours. If you canceled yesterday or in the morning, it would have sucked, but there's just no consideration of anyone's time in this. You know what I'm saying? And from what I've heard, there was internet issues in the building. You know what I'm saying? And it's constant from people in the building chattering and stuff like that. And who knows? Everything just gets passed around word of mouth wise in this culture. But wouldn't that make a little bit more sense than rampant bootlegging for a stream that did not even occur yet? And then that brings you to the question, why would they have not tested the internet beforehand? And that's its whole own thing on its own. But that's not the reason we've been given as to why the event didn't go down. I've woken up to see Smack and Beasley have done interviews talking about, we pulled the plug because of bootlegging. You know, that's like, it was like a gangster move. Brother, we've just gypped the fucking customers that actually did buy the event too. You villainized everyone with a move like that when you cut the pay-per-view stream. It's bizarre. The tweet, even the way it was sent out, like to fully kind of pivot to bootlegging, it's just no communication with your paying fan base. It's a canceled stream as the stream is going on. I keep trying to say it more times to think like it's gonna make sense, but it just doesn't. I mean, it was terrible what this weekend turned out to. You got one event that's 6 hours, and basically 5.5 of it was a camera panned on a ring with no one in it, and then the next day you wait 4 hours for an event. You just don't get, and it sucks because we heard I said in the beginning of the video, it's kind of old school. It's like when you're not in the building, you just got to wait for the YouTube drop. You're just hearing opinions, all these in the building opinions before the battle comes out. And I heard that Hustle and Fonz was pretty good. I heard Fonz may have had a choke in the battle, may have had a stumble in the battle. I heard T-Top got after Jerry, and this is all just what I heard, but this is the best I can give you. That's half recap, at least what I've seen and been informed. T-Top went crazy against Jerry. Big news. I heard Chef Trez cleared Rock. I already had one of the performances of the night. Obviously, it's a much bigger conversation. It's like you don't even want to go into all the possibilities that can spin off that until you see the result for yourself. But if Chef Trez cleared Rock, and I'm seeing some people say 30, obviously that's shifting for Cody conversation. It's just a crazy result altogether. We heard Rum Nitty and Real Sick was battle of the night. Look, I feel like that was kind of expected, so I'm glad that they held it down. I heard JC and Hollow was pretty good, too. I heard, from who I talked to, a few people had JC, but you know how it is with Hollow, and with how it is with all these battles, we got to see it come out on camera first, so this is the recap. This little 1 minute here is the recap, because there's nothing to recap, because out of probably 10 to 12 hours of time waited around in general, we got to see 1.5 boxing matches, and that's what we got from pay-per-views and battle rap this past weekend. So overall, what a fucking disastrous weekend of events and streams, man. And now we just wait to see, I guess, how they put the battles out and where do we go from here. Obviously, I want to review them, and I know JB said he'd be working on the VOD all night, and I wonder if it's just going to go, right to the app VOD. Maybe it has. Like I said, I haven't been able to check it yet. Just came to shoot this. Maybe they'll have another way of putting it out, distributing it to the people, because I'm not going to lie. Extreme negative effects call for extreme things done for the fans. So I'm never one to say this, but maybe a stream to YouTube or a YouTube drop or just something quick that the people can get to this content. Because for what was supposed to be really a home run weekend for URL, I thought it was one of their best cards on paper that they put together, probably right behind Gnome. I think some people would at least put in the conversation with that event. The kind of like the smaller amount of battles to make it time friendly. Isn't that the funniest thing? I was thinking this would be like a 4 to 5 hour card instead of a 4 to 5 hour waste of time. So we'll see how they put the battles out. And of course, leading up to Power Moves this weekend, which I will be attending in person, because God forbid you buy a pay-per-view stream, you never know what's going to happen. Only way to guarantee damn near is to go in person. So I'm excited to do that. But while I'm doing the lead up and power moves content this week, final predictions, keys to victory for some of the matchups. If these URL battles drop, I'm thinking about not doing it as a whole recap, but just reviewing. I might just do 5 separate reviews, and we'll see. So let me know, do you want me to view all the battles at once and then do a recap, or do you want a separate review for each URL battle? Because I have no problem doing that. Like I said, expected to do a recap this morning, and I'm here giving you a recap of nothingness, because that's what we got this weekend, basically, was nothingness. Extremely disappointing. Especially, for URL. Both events obviously stream to the URL app, but particularly what happened with Bars Over Politics, egregious. I could just keep coming up with negative synonyms, but those are my emotions right now towards everything we got this weekend. So now I want to ask you guys in the comment section down below. It's not really anything to ask. Just go in there and let me know how you feel too. Rants, what your biggest complaint out of just a litany. Pick a complaint, pick a thing to be pissed about, because it was just that type of weekend, man. And let me know in the comment section down below. And I guess a little bit hype for power moves. Let me know what battles you want to see for Bars Over Politics reviewed first as well. So any of that, leave it in the comment section down below. But it's been J Smo reviews again here, y'all. Expect actual battles and things like that to be recapped in the next coming days. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.